May I come in, sir?
Come in.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Have your seat. Shrey.
Yes, sir.
Shrey, we are taking all the precautions relating to COVID.
Yes, sir.
So your chair has been kept at a distance of more than 2 yards, and we are wearing a mask also. But just to talk to you, I have removed my mask. You may also remove your mask.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Introduce yourself in a way that your caste and communal identities are not disclosed.
So I am Shrey Shashank. I reside in 𝐏𝐫𝐬𝐬, Uttar Pradesh. I have completed my schooling from Delhi Public School, Noida. After that, I did my graduation in Computer Science Engineering from Indraprastha Institute of Information Technology, Delhi. Post that, I have worked in Dell EMC as Associate Software Engineer. And after that, I have also worked in Export Credit Guarantee Corporation of India as Executive Officer. Presently, sir, I am only preparing for civil services. I resigned from that job.
What do you understand by export credit?
So, export credit is basically the credit that is given to exporters so as to enable them in their export business or to meet their working capital needs or exporting needs.
So what's the functional difference between the office you're working in and Exim Bank?
So the functional difference is basically that the Exim Bank provides the export credit and the ECGC or the Export Credit Guarantee Corporation, they provided the guarantee on that export credit. So if the exporter who took the credit some way defaults on his payment, then there is a guarantee or an insurance that is given by ECGC. And that is not only limited to Exim Bank, but to any other export credit that is provided by any scheduled commercial or other banks also.
So is it a kind of insurance policy against credit?
Yes, sir. It is an export credit insurance policy which is given both to exporters as well as to the banks. So in the case of exporters, it is given in the case that if they are supplying something overseas.
So who regulates ECGC, TRI or RBI?
No, sir. It is regulated by IRDAI.
IRDAI.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shreya, your optional is political science.
Yes, sir.
What's the difference between liberty of thought and freedom of thought?
So liberty of thought would basically mean the way we want to think or... sorry, sir, I'm not able to exactly think.
Okay. Should we bifurcate UP and create Eastern UP as a separate state?
So there are pros and cons to this. Currently, Uttar Pradesh is as big as Brazil, and the GDP is also very big. There is problems with law and order and other issues. So even in the past, there have been Honorable Chief Minister of the past, Mayawati ji, and 𝐾𝐨 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐥𝐢, they have talked about bifurcating the state for better governance. And we have seen in the past that when Uttarakhand was taken out from UP, in many indicators it is doing better than UP. Similar thing has been seen with the case of Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh also. So there is a case that it would allow for more focus on Eastern Uttar Pradesh if it is bifurcated. But it has to be not done via any political motive, but taking into the socio-economic indicators into account and what the people there want. So like in the case of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, there was a movement inside where the people wanted a separate state. Here, if the people want a separate state, then there can be a demand. And there is also a theory in political science which is saying that sub-regionalism has in a way helped the development of southern cultures, southern states, because they have been able to focus on their development more.
Okay,
or they have
last
been able
question. Should we conduct elections as a strategy to drive out virus COVID?
Sorry, sir.
Should we conduct elections as a strategy to drive out coronavirus? Because wherever there is election, there is no virus.
So again, that is being used as a political tool in some places. But yes, if we can see that the COVID norms or COVID appropriate behavior does go out of the window whenever there is an election. Like in the rallies, they are not following it mostly, but during the polling, they are trying to follow it. But again, sir, our democracy needs regular elections. and we have had success in the elections in the past, and even in Bihar, the peak didn't happen at that time. So, like, more precautions can be done. Election Commission has made regulations regarding contactless campaigning and has extended the campaigning period. More strict following of those precautions would be better rather than precautions.
Okay, Shrey.
Shrey, recently, government has launched a scheme that is Nirvik scheme.
Yes, sir.
Which is to be promoted by the ECGC.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me the...
So the Nirvik scheme is basically just extending the amount of export credit that is being insured.
What is the full form of this Nirvik scheme?
Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Sir, it was something like Niryat, something that I'm not able to remember completely.
Rin Bima Yojana.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is bad bank?
So bad bank has been promoted as an idea, as a bank which can buy all the non-performing assets or the assets which are doubtful or loss assets of the current scheduled commercial banks or the public sector banks, and then it can try to resalvage the value on its own. So in this way, it can help clean the balance sheet of the public sector banks that is reeling under the NPA crisis, and they are having
There is a very famous quote that government has no business to be in business.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with this statement?
Sir, not completely. I don't agree with that completely, because in a country like ours, where there is welfare needs also, there is definitely a need for some PSUs. But yes, not in all sectors. So currently the policy that is coming up where we are trying to go for PSUs only in strategic sectors, that can definitely be a way. And when we just got our independence, at that moment probably it was needed to promote more financial inclusion and more welfare functions. But now I think that our private sector has become strong enough to take over most of the functions. And maybe there can be an alternate route where we can probably use taxation more as a welfare function rather than government itself running all the businesses. And in strategic sectors, maybe it can continue, in my view.
Shrey, what is vaccine diplomacy?
So vaccine diplomacy is a diplomacy tool that is being used by India, whereby we are providing vaccines to our neighboring countries and to other poorer or least developed countries for free or at very nominal charges, so as to gain their goodwill and in a way increase our soft power.
What is cryptocurrency?
So cryptocurrency is basically a digital currency that is built on blockchain technology. And
is it a legal tender money?
Not in India, sir. Currently not in
Why?
India. Because sir, there are cryptocurrency runs mostly on anonymity. So the government feels that it can be used for money laundering and terror financing, and also in speculative losses, because currently we are seeing that cryptocurrencies value, they are jumping very high. They don't have any physical asset backing them, but still there is a lot of speculation going on.
So without cryptocurrency, can we make our economy as a digital economy?
Yes, sir. There is a possibility.
How?
Currently the government has introduced a bill regarding central bank digital currency. So that a legal tender which is introduced by the
What do you
RBI.
understand by the digital economy?
So digital economy is one where there is an increasing role of digital technologies in the country, and there is less cash economy, more transactions happening online, and more use of IT enabled services and IT technologies throughout the economy, throughout the value chain.
Okay. Sir, please.
How are you, Shrey Shashank? Good?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Now, you said that you have done your BTech, possibly not the MTech, I guess, only the BTech part. Okay. From IIT Delhi?
No, sir.
Triple IT?
Yes, sir.
Triple IT Delhi. So, appeared for GATE also, no?
No, sir.
Didn't try it?
No, sir.
Any reason?
Sir, not really. Sir, mostly when I went into engineering, I was enthusiastic about it, but later I realized that I didn't find coding that interesting. And my first placement that I got out of college, it was on the basis of an internship that I had done at the same place. And they had given me a pre-placement offer there, so I went there for the completion of the project only. So mostly after that, I realized that I didn't want to continue in coding per se.
Okay. What is the difference between cybercrime and cyber terrorism?
So cyber crime is like any crime that is happening on the cyber arena, and it can be from petty crimes or simple crimes like somewhere like financial frauds at lower level or trying to steal someone's identity, and it can be cyber attacks also on infrastructure, whereas cyber terrorism is a very like a small fragment of overall cyber crimes where they are being used to terrorize people or like inflict some huge damage on a country's infrastructure or some cases.
Have you heard about the bands?
Sorry, sir.
Band?
Oh, sir.
Band. Okay. Frequency band?
Yes, sir.
Which one is more powerful among L and C band?
LNC, no, sir. Sorry, I'm not.
Achha, no problem. Okay. Your options are Pol Science and IR, right? Recently, India held a virtual summit with European Union.
Yes, sir.
What was the agenda?
So European Union, basically, we have a finished agenda, like unfinished agenda, sorry, with regard to a broad-based investment and trade agreement, which has been continuing for past few times. Also, there is the issue regarding the increased dominance of China and its flouting of the rules-based order in the South China Sea, and how it is trying to pressurize the Eastern European countries also into joining BRI. So those two things plus COVID-19 and how we can help each other. Like currently, Serum Institute is using Oxford AstraZeneca from England, but even like we are trying to supply that to Europe to help with their vaccination as well. So there's and Europe has done pretty well with their supply chain management of the vaccination. So an MOU there. Apart from that, in space technology also, and in movement investments, movement of our people. So we are trying to talk in all those areas.
What is the great game theory in IR?
So great game theory in IR is basically lot of the major powers trying to gain influence in the world arena while not directly fighting against each other, but using their proxies or in a proxy regime.
Is it something related to Central Asia?
Yes, sir. It's basically been called with regards to Afghanistan, because there have been clashes amongst the major powers, not directly with each other, but on the Afghani soil. So when British Empire was ruling over India and the Russian Empire was trying to expand, they had wars there, or they had a clash there. And after that, also during the Cold War era, one of the main reasons of USSR collapsing was their invasion into Afghanistan. So there was a great game there. And currently, again, US, China, Russia, all are trying to vie for influence in Afghanistan.
Great. Good one. Thank you. Yes.
Shrey, do you know who founded Vijayanagar Empire?
Sir, I'm not exactly able to remember. Sir, Hariharan, I guess. Hariharan.
Harihar. That's almost correct. Harihar and Bukka, two brothers were there.
Yes, sir.
And who founded Bahmani Kingdom?
Sorry, sir.
You have studied modern history and constitutional development.
Yes, sir.
Why do you think Indian rulers were defeated in a very short span of time from 1757 to 1816 by Britishers? What were the root causes for such a feeble kind of political class in India?
So the main causes were the different political kingdoms in India were very much divided amongst themselves. So India was a house divided in itself, and they took the help of Britishers or French for short-term gains without thinking of the long-term consequence of taking their help. And they continuously fought against each other only. There was no thinking of the development of economy or their defense, or they couldn't understand the true nature of the British rule in that way. So even like we see in the Marathas, there was the issue that Rajaram wanted the throne for himself. When he didn't get, he went to the Britishers, and there was a Sangola agreement. And after that,
what was subsidiary alliance policy?
So subsidiary alliance policy was where the Britishers were going to the kingdoms and they were saying that they would provide the kingdom the security, all the troops, and the king would have to disband his own troops, pay them the revenue for maintaining the British troops, as well as not allow any other foreigners to work in their empire, and also they would have to give up their sovereignty with respect to their treaty alliances with other kingdoms. So
are we ally of America?
No, sir. We are not an ally of America as of now. We are more of an equal partner with them at the moment.
Okay. Why do we call that Israel is a natural ally of India?
Sir, Israel is a natural ally of India in the sense that, so basically we have convergences on many different issues. In a way, like they can provide us technology, they can provide us with how to maximize our output efficiency in agriculture, and we both are democracies in a area where democracy is uncommon, because even in the Middle East and the entire Gulf area, there are not any democracies present. Even in South Asia, only the true democracies is only in India. So there is a alliance of democracy. There is also the view that we both want rules-based order. We both have issues with our borders, where we have so many enemies in a sense that they are trying to attack us. So there can be focus on defense cooperation. There can be focus on space cooperation.
I have the final question, Shrey. If you become police officer in UP, how do you conduct yourself?
So police officer in UP, I think, sir, the main thing would be maintaining my integrity in a way. Like UP and even in other states right now, we are seeing in Maharashtra, there is a lot of political pressure, there is a lot of mudslinging going on. So in that case, maintaining integrity, doing justice to my duty and giving my all in the sense that whatever I have to do it properly and in a just manner, in my view that I am doing justice to my job.
Do you think we should continue to remember Cornwallis as father of Indian administration?
Sir, in the sense that he provided a structure to the administration, he defined some rules that we are following. In that way, we can call him a father of administration, but those ideas were not as per se only his ideas. From rural times also, even in Mauryan Empire, we see that there was a similar division. The names were different, but the idea of maintaining decentralizing power or having civil servants who are directly being controlled by a central empire, all these different methods have been seen in the past also. So they, like Cornwallis only kind of gave it a structure when it was being lost all around. So at that time, he provided a new structure to the administration. So that is why he is called the father of Indian administration.
Justified?
No, sir, I don't think so.
Okay. Nice talking to you, Shrey. Your interview is over. You may go now.
Thank you, sir.
Come. Have a seat, Shrey.
Thank you, sir.
So, how was it? What are the areas you feel you should improve upon?
Sir, my optional knowledge, like the first question you asked, on that I need to work.
Which question?
Liberty of thought and freedom of thought.
Okay.
And apart from that optional knowledge, yes, sir, more about my job profile. Like I worked and I forgot the name of the full form. And in general, sir, like I get very nervous, so sometimes I speak faster. So that I feel.
Your analytical faculty is very good, Shrey. You have been able to explain almost all the questions with analytical tone nicely, and that way you appear to be a very promising candidate.
Thank you, sir.
Many things are good. Your entry is good. Your sitting posture may improve.
Okay.
Can you straighten up a little bit?
Your body. Like this.
So if you sit straight, it will be better. Your tie is not properly, that means it is loose. So it should be tight and longish.
Okay, sir.
It's a little short. And your communication is having good flow. You have got good vocabulary. Your comprehension of question is good. Problem is that your answers are, you know so much. That means you are able to articulate yourself beyond the limits of an interview. So our advice is that be more objective.
Okay, sir.
And precise, to the point. Shorten your answers.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, their patience may run out. That means if you were speaking and you are speaking well, you are speaking in an attractive fashion. So it was pleasure listening to you. But the point is that the board wants you to question as many dimensions as possible in a short span of time. So if you keep your answer short, you will enable the board to know a larger domain of your knowledge.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So other things are fine. That means if you wish to wear these rings, fine. But
so I
be
can
ready
remove
to
it.
explain it.
No, sir, I will
No, we
remove it.
don't prescribe that remove it, but they can raise question, possibly. They will simply avoid it. But if they pick up this issue, you should have a logical answer.
No, I don't answer. It's basically because of family they said, so I was wearing. So I will remove it only, sir.
पॉकेट वॉकेट में रख सकता है. You should keep in your
Yes, sir.
pocket.
I will do that.
नहीं, आप कह सकते हैं भाई, वो भी एक लॉजिकल आंसर होता है. माँ ने आदेश किया है, अपने आप में वो लॉजिकल आंसर है.
Yes, sir.
माँ के आदेश का तो कोई फिर और उसका साइंस ही नहीं होता.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, बट be ready. They can ask some surprising questions around it.
Definitely, sir.
Other things are fine. We are very happy with your performance.
Thank you, sir.
And wish you
Thank
very
you,
good
sir.
luck.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.